We have to know that we're building the right thing. We have to know that we're building something that will be useful to the end user, specifically in technology. If we build something just because it's interesting to us or because we think we should build it without doing the proper research, then it's not going to be a success. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and this is where we talk all about project management in lean teams and startup organizations. First off, I want to say hello and thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're new here watching for the first time, I want to welcome you and invite you to subscribe and let me know what questions you have. I am very passionate about project management and I want to know how I can help you. Okay, today we're going to have a little bit of a geek out moment on project management, and I want to talk to you about something called the Chaos Report. I first became aware of the Chaos Report when I invited a colleague to speak to a team that I was leading, and she used the Chaos Report to present a point, and I thought, wow, this thing is really interesting. I want to download my own copy, and you can get a copy online. It's available to anyone. But the Chaos Report is done by a group called the Standish group, and it's widely regarded as the de facto authority on success rates and IT projects. And while we're talking about IT projects specifically with this report, I think there's a lot of information in here that just pertains to projects in general. And so it's interesting to read through. It's not super long and it's not super boring. It's like 10 pages. So you'll be able to stomach it. But yeah, I love this report for a number of reasons. And we're going to focus today on the top 3 reasons why projects fail. But first, I wanted to read a bit from the introduction of the Chaos Report because I love how this is introduced to us. It says, bridges are normally built on time, on budget, and do not fall down. On the other hand, software never comes in on time or on budget. In addition, it always breaks down. I think that is so true. And that was from Alfred Spector, who was president of the TransArc Corporation. He wrote that in a paper in 1986. So I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. But I love how that's introduced because it's so true, and we certainly feel like that often when we're working on software in particular, is the project just never seems to work out correctly. So you're not alone if you have those feelings. Okay, now moving on, we're going to talk about why projects fail. And we have a list of 10 different reasons why projects fail, but I'm only going to discuss the top 3 today, okay? So we'll start with the number 3 reason. The number 3 reason is a lack of a clear statement of requirements. We know how important this is in project management, developing requirements up front that are clear, that give proper instruction and expectations to the people who are going to be carrying out those requirements. We have to make sure those are clear. This is part of typically our work breakdown structure, right? Breaking down those tasks, not only in a way that is easy for us to estimate time, but also breaking down those tasks in a way that's easy for people to be able to accomplish them. They have all of the information that they need to accomplish the tasks correctly, because otherwise we know that either the task doesn't get done, it doesn't get done properly, or as expected, we have to go back and redo the task, and then we're adding time to the project. All kinds of things can happen when we don't have those clear requirements. So we know that one's super important. That's the number 3 reason why projects fail. Now, the number 2 reason is lack of executive management support. I think this one is so interesting, and I've seen this specifically in startup, lack of executive management support. And you may be scratching your head like, how could that even happen? But it does. And it happens when we have projects that are sort of like developed as offshoots of projects, or projects that are maybe going through a pivot and we don't get full buy-in from our executive team. all sorts of things can happen so that we end up with a project that's not really fully supported by our executive team. And when our executive team does not fully support the project, we are not going to get the resources, the funding, the encouragement, and support that we would need to push a project forward. And that project is ultimately going to falter. You'd be surprised at how quickly and how painfully a project can fall apart when we don't simply have executive management support. So that one is super important. And then the number one reason, I feel like I need a drum roll here. The number one reason why projects fail is lack of user involvement. And this one's interesting. It sort of gets into product management because we know we need to have proper interviews up front with the people that are going to be using the product. This is really defining our vision for whatever it is that we're doing or building. We have to know that we're building the right thing. We have to know that we're building something that will be useful to the end user, specifically in technology. If we build something just because it's interesting to us or because we think we should build it without doing the proper research, then it's not going to be a success. It's just not. And we may get halfway through the project and realize that, and then we've spent so much time and budget and resources on this thing. So user involvement is the number one reason why projects fail, specifically IT projects here, okay? But like I say, the chaos report is very useful to, I think, any project manager. I would recommend looking through it. It's only a quick 10 pages. You can get it off the internet. Anybody can get it. Take a look at it. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you next time.